It is Tuesday's Talking Reds. I'm Josh Sexton. I'm joined today by Andy Heaton. And Andy, a few sort of talking points going around at the moment. Obviously, one of the big ones is coronavirus, which appears to be the only thing that can stop Liverpool dominating the league for years to come. But Raheem Sterling has also laughed off the idea that will even be the case. He's laughing off the idea that Liverpool will be dominating the league for years to come. The interview is actually really interesting in terms of his body language and the way he sort of answers the question. I sort of wouldn't expect anything else because he's a City player, but he says, we won the league twice in a row, they're leading at this moment, but I'm pretty sure come the end of the season our boys will go away and come back again. And he talks being very hurt when we do pick up the league, which I quite liked. And sort of between that quote and between the thing that happened with Gomez earlier in the season, his apology where he talks about it being a big game for City and a big game for him in particular, I think there's a bit of resentment there towards him. Now I don't buy into all this living rent free in someone's head kind of thing, but I think from Raheem Sterling, the way things turned out with Liverpool, I think there's definitely a bit of resentment from him towards us there.
Why is he bothered to be playing for Real Madrid next season anyway? Why is he on about us? No, I think the whole thing with Sterling is, and I can understand it to a degree, as much as he does get the brickbats when he comes to Anfield. Yeah. And it is vicious, if only because, there are elements to it, and there's obviously been other stuff going on in the background, not necessarily at Anfield, but he's shown that it gets under his skin. Yeah. It's shown that it affects him. If it didn't affect him, he wouldn't get half as much of it. I think he's been subbed really early. I think he's been subbed at half time in one game against us since he's left. He's, and obviously he starts the season on fire, and then he does have that incident with Joe Gomez, and I think since Christmas in the league, his numbers are very, very low. If any, yeah. Something, yeah. I think, or no assists or anything like that. And also, where I do have even more sympathy for him, I just think he's badly advised. I just think he's really badly advised. I mean, we saw that when he was at Liverpool, when he gave that interview with the BBC that was unauthorised, and then he's on the front page of AS last month with the Real Madrid shirt over his shoulder, which is a bit mad. I can only imagine what the reaction would have been had that been one of our lads. And maybe the kid believes his own hype a little bit. I mean, that you could say that's justified because he is. I watched the game. Monday Night Football last night before the Leicester game, and they were doing analysis on the Man United City game, and Jamie Carragher was right. He said he's probably one of the best left-handed side attacking midfielders in world football. Yeah. But you still forget he's still only a young kid. I think he's one of those players. He's been around that long. You think he's older than what he is, and also he's not. You wonder if he was at Liverpool, would he be revered as much as the likes of Salah and Mane are, possibly? And is he revered that much at City? Don't really know. So you do wonder whether there is a little bit, all right, he's won 2 league titles, still hasn't won the Champions League, but you do wonder whether there's a little bit of, because I always go back to, and I know this is going longer than what we thought, but I always remember Tom Adler's advisor, Andy Ward, giving an interview a quote to the Daily Mirror, while Raheem Sterling was still at Liverpool, and he'd said, I'm telling you, it was Andy Ward. I think it might have been a source said, but it was his agent said that, but if Liverpool had Jurgen Klopp, or a manager like Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, it wouldn't even be a conversation. Yeah. And then he leaves with Rodgers still in charge, and then a couple of months later, Klopp arrives, but I don't know. I think
do you think there is any merit in what he's saying? Do you think there's a chance that City do bounce back and give Liverpool a sort of stronger rival next season onwards?
It's so difficult, the position they're in. I mean, we don't know what the outcome's going to be with the appeal to CAS.
Of course, yeah.
Let's just assume that the appeal doesn't go through. Their immediate, you look at their side, they lost company, they lost their experience, they've got David Silva's going to leave, a couple of their players are knocking their own side to 30 there, Kevin De Bruyne is out injured as much as he's playing, but they're not going to be, if they're getting done for FFP, they're not going to have that much facility for wiggle room, to be honest, to increase that wage bill, to buy new players. So where do they improve? Saying that they could, of course, be cleared and spend as much money as they want. They've got some good kids coming through, and you would expect them to strike back, but no one could have predicted how far they'd fall this season.
No, yeah, very fair. And I think it's interesting that we've got to the stage now where we could win the league without literally kicking another ball with them if they somehow manage to lose the next 2 games.
Well, we talk about Sterling in particular, but I can't imagine what the reaction would be if we win the title before we travel to the City of Manchester Stadium and they've got to give us the guard of honour.
Yeah, well, you'd imagine that's what's going to happen by now, wouldn't you? Yeah, so that would be
maybe they're not shaking hands is probably the one thing going in Sterling's favour. He hasn't got to shake Joe Gomez's hands. Joe Gomez going, yeah, man, who's the big man now? Yeah. who's the big man now.
Yeah, but he will still have to stand by the side and clap for him as he walks through when Liverpool do get that guard of honour. Obviously, Liverpool did play at the weekend. We had our second look show yesterday, which looked back on that game, but back on another glorious win for the Reds and a glorious weekend. So here's a clip from that.
The thing I most appreciated that I felt Liverpool, the manager said there was some stuff to work on, think about some stuff both defensively and in an attacking sense, but everything this team does, it does as a whole team. And I think one of the changes that you get to see is the passing from the centre-halves through to the midfielders, the attacking midfielders, the forwards. Virgil gets the assist, but they were pinging the ball aggressively all game.
Yeah, I think there's a great deal more vertical passing than we've seen for quite a while. I think we've been... The last couple of games, the passing's felt a bit staid. It's been a little bit loose. It's been a lot of safe passing going on, as though people are a little unsure of who they're giving it to and what the lad that they're giving it to is going to do with the ball when he gets it. I think there was a bit more ambition going on Saturday. Certainly, by the time you hit the second half, I think we come out second half, that first 20 minutes, we looked like us again. First half, I think there were a few lads who looked a little bit leggy first half. I thought Gomez looked a little bit leggy. I think certainly for their goal, the speed you would normally anticipate of him in his recovery wasn't quite there. But I think he plays his way through. I thought he had an excellent game overall. But I think that first 20 minutes of the second half, you could see us becoming ourselves again. You could see confidence growing, and you knew that you had the 2 goals behind you already, so you knew that there was always the option of scoring more. And I think that first 20, there was also second half as a whole. I think there was a lot of we're preparing for Atletico now. We're getting ready our game plan. We're playing into what we will be doing on Wednesday night.
Yeah, so that is our second look show, one of our premium videos. You can get that on our Anfield app. If you download that, you get 250 free tokens to play with, so you can just sort of give that a go. See what you like, see what you don't like, and let us know. Also subscribe as well. Andy, given the sort of events of the weekend, that now leaves Liverpool 2 wins away from the title, I think there's been a bit of panic around whether coronavirus could stop Liverpool winning this league, could stop them lifting it in front of a packed Anfield, but the events of yesterday suggest that there was a government minister who came out and said that we're at too early a stage to start playing games behind closed doors, which I suppose is good news for Liverpool fans in terms of watching us lift the league title. But there are some worrying developments in terms of obviously Serie A being completely suspended, although the whole of Italy has been put on lockdown, which is obviously a bit different to our situation. But then there's a few Champions League games being played behind closed doors now. It is getting to a point where it's genuinely something to worry about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it does feel rather inevitable. It seems when rather than if. Yeah. Now, but it's only 2 games away. I mean, we could, as mentioned earlier, win it without actually kicking another ball. So it's imperative to get it done. It'd be interesting if the plan is to close after a certain date. If Liverpool have secured the title, whether they let them lift it early. I know that's been mentioned elsewhere. I mean, to be honest, I'm taking parachuting lessons. Anyway, just in case it is behind closed doors, get over there, drop out, skydive in, or even get a hot air balloon, just like a half time, just kind of like just drop into the centre circle or something. But no, we have got to take it seriously. It'd just be very, very Liverpool, wouldn't it? Be just incredible. But I think sensible that's on. It's very important to kind of separate the Champions League from the domestic competitions. I think it'd be very easy. And we've heard this morning that Barca's game against Napoli next week is going to be played behind closed doors. And we know a lot of it's air travel and whatever, but what we've got to remember is England, and not to sound Brexit, I mean, there couldn't be more Brexit if you tried, but we are literally an island, so our borders are more closed than what they would be in Europe. So it'd be a lot easier for it to pass from Italy to Spain to Switzerland, whatever. And if they do decide to close the doors on games in England, that'll be because the team's coming over from Europe as opposed to teams, domestically. Obviously, tomorrow's game should be fine. Too short notice to call that off. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Man City, Real Madrid next week. Whether they shut the Etihad for that. But even if they do, that doesn't necessarily mean or beget that they automatically start closing grounds in England. I mean, the ramifications aren't even worth going into. I'm sure we'll do more content on this in more detail, but there's this impression that all clubs are rolling in money when in fact that's not the case. And the lower you go down the pyramid, they survive literally hand to mouth, game to game. You start shutting their grounds, you're going to see clubs go under, and then who's going to pay for that? Who's going to deal with that? I mean, there is a touch of the petrol crisis about it, in as much as that people do get hysterical. Yeah. And also, I think it's worth remembering as well that the reason why these measures are being put in place it's not necessarily to stop the spread, it's to alleviate the speed of the spread.
Yeah.
It's trying to keep the spread between a manageable level that the government services and the health services in England can keep a grip on it. And as long as that's the case, I don't see, and I'm only going off what I'm reading, what doctors are saying in published journals. It's to stop the speed of the spread as opposed to stopping the spread, because I think the spread's inevitable. So as long as they've got a handle on that, I think, fingers crossed, we should be okay to secure it at Goodison Park.
Well, you mentioned about City being played behind closed doors, but they play most of their games behind closed doors anyway, don't they, by the looks of it? So at least they'd have a good enough reason for no fans to turn up. But you talked about the game tomorrow.
They'll still publish a full house attendance.
Yeah, of course. But you talked about the game tomorrow, and obviously that we're hoping that the crowd will have a big impact in that one as well. And one of the questions from yesterday's Talking Reds actually is I think the fella asked if is there anything in the rules of the game that says we can't make the away technical area, let's say 2 metres by 2 metres square on Wednesday night, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously if you want to quite literally answer that, no, there is no way. But I'll be interested to see how Diego Simeone approaches this one, because it seems to have been a bit quiet in the build. But I don't know whether stuff's going to start coming out today from the press conferences and stuff. We'll see whether there's a few people who make a few slidings towards Anfield. I know their owner made a bit of a joke about it after the last game, because their stadium's brand new, and he was sort of making out ours was this old decrepit arena. But
I thought that was a blank quote. Was that a real quote?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't know if it was a black quote or just a joke, to be honest.
No, with Simeone, I mean, one thing you forget about Anfield is that you're very, very close to the crowd.
Yeah.
In these big new stadiums, there's a bit of a distance, and you just wonder whether he starts acting up, whether he gets any pelters from the main stands. I mean, personally, in the interests of, human decency and well-balanced health and protecting everyone, I would, given that they're coming over from Spain, I would set up screening around the technical area.
Yeah, 100%, I agree.
I would set up screening around the technical area, quarantine. I would hose them down at half-time with the sprinklers just to make sure that they're clean. And every time he stands up, just to stop the spread, I would spray him even more.
Yeah, no, I'm fully on board with all those ideas.
Tactical sprinklers.
We'll let you know if any of those developments do grow over the next few days anyway, but we'll have loads more build up to the Atletico game. We'll have reaction in the aftermath as well. As I said before, download the Anfield app, download the Anfield app and subscribe, I should say. Get on all our stuff as well. That has been Talking Reds. Nice one.